Let's learn how to share where we come from. And just like in English, there are two main ways to say that. I come from Canada and I am Canadian. Let's start with I come from. You'll first give the country you're originally from, followed by から来ました。から来ました。から来ました。から means from, and 来ました is the past tense of 来る, which means to come. So literally, come from. Again, we noticed that I didn't use the pronoun I here. And of course, you could start the sentence with 私は. It's grammatically correct, because I know it's frustrating for us English speakers to skip the pronoun, but not only will you sound way more natural by skipping subjects when they're obvious, saying 私は too often could give the impression that you're self-centered. So keep it simple. So if you're from the States, you'll say アメリカから来ました。アメリカから来ました。アメリカから来ました。Unfortunately, even though there are more than 30 countries in the American continent, Japan has been heavily influenced by the USA, in the sense that America is more often used to talk about the country rather than the continent. Now, let me give you a few countries to practice with, and because I can't go over all the countries in the world, you can use Google Translate for the rest. It works well for isolated words. I'm not saying that it doesn't work, but from the previous parts we already saw that it's more natural to get rid of the subject when it's obvious, that the place of each word in a sentence is not the same as in English, and that the level of politeness and formality is very important. That's too many variables for Google to give you a natural translation that would match your context. But yeah, so we have Canada. Canada for Canada. That one is very easy. France, France, France for France. And then Spain, Spain for Spain. So if I want to say I come from Canada, カナダから来ました。カナダから来ました。If I want to say I come from France, フランスから来ました。フランスから来ました。Now, here are some interesting ones. We have イギリス、イギリス、イギリス for England, and then we have ドイツ for Germany, because it comes from Deutsch. ドイツ、ドイツ. Now, for Asian countries, it gets a little trickier because we'll use kanji, the Chinese characters. So for Japan, it's 日本, 日本, 日本. There is a variation which is Nippon. Actually, Nippon sounds slightly more patriotic, and you might hear it more in sports or political events. But when Japanese people say, I come from Japan, they'll use 日本. 日本から来ました。日本から来ました。日本から来ました。日本から来ました。Ni is the character for sun, and Hong is the origin, which makes the origin of the sun, pretty close to its English nickname, the land of the rising sun. China is 中国. 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 Be careful with the long vowel. 中. 中 means middle, and goku is country. So literally, the middle country or the central country. Korea is 韓国. 韓国. 韓国, and it means the country of the Han people. So that was how to say I come from. But let's say you're originally from another country, or your parents come from a different country, and you don't identify with the country you were born in, you'll be saying the name of the country followed by 人です. 人です. Jin, which by itself is read 人, is the character for human or person. And again, です, which is the neutrally polite way to state a fact. So let's say you want to say I'm American. That would be アメリカ人です。アメリカ人です。アメリカ人です。I am English. イギリス人です。Could you guess how to say I am Japanese? 日本人です。日本人です。日本人です。Now, if you want to be more precise and say I was born, you'll say the name of the country followed by で生まれました。で生まれました。で is the particle used to indicate the place where an action or event take place. 生まれました is the past tense of the verb 生まれる, which means to be born, or more literally, to be given birth. If you want to say born and raised, it's going to be 生まれも育ちも。生まれも育ちも, the name of the country or the city, followed by, you know it, です。生まれも育ちもパリです。生まれも育ちもパリです。生まれも育ちもパリです。Mo here is the particle to say also. So literally, it would be closer to born and also raised. The conjugation here is slightly different. 生まれ and 育ち in these forms make them nouns. If you were born in a country and you grew up in a different one, you would say the name of your birthplace, followed by 生まれで, then the name of the place you grew up, followed by 育ちです. So even if you're American, if your family has been moving around, you could say, I was born in New York, but I grew up in LA. ニューヨーク生まれでロサンゼルス育ちです。ニューヨーク生まれでロサンゼルス育ちです。ニューヨーク生まれでロサンゼルス育ちです。If you're born and raised in the same place and you want to keep it simple, you could also use 出身です。出身です。出身です。Watch the double consonant 出身. It's not 出身, it's 出身. The first character, 出 is to leave or exit, and 身 is the character for body. So if you want to say, I'm originally from the Kansai area in Japan, you would say, 関西出身です。関西出身です。So let's now recap the main sentences to express where you come from. アメリカから来ました。アメリカ人です。アメリカで生まれました。アメリカ生まれでカナダ育ちです。アメリカ出身です。Thank you so much for watching this entire video. If you found this helpful, please let me know with a thumbs up or in the comments. And don't forget to share and subscribe for more content like this. じゃあまたね